Hello to all my gods and goddesses. Welcome to this week's episode of Confessions of a New Age Goddess. As always, I'm your host, Melissa. For this week's episode, I'm interviewing our next guest and friend, Dr. Navjot Minhas. Not only is Nav a doctor, but also a fellow Reiki Master. Please help me welcome Nav.
Thanks, Melissa, for having me. I'm super thrilled to be here and talk about my insight. Before we get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I have a background of cancer research. I was a medical professor, and now I practice as a family medical doctor in Illinois. I have my own nonprofit where we help many people who are in need, and that's one of my greatest passions. Usually on my days off, I love to read, be out in nature, bake, and I have a little small dog named Paris that I'm so in love with.
From our last podcast, we talked a little bit about Reiki. So, how did you get into Reiki, Nav?
Well, Reiki found me, actually. At a really young age, I was pretty skeptical about anything besides that was scientifically explained. One day, my sister told me that I should go to a Reiki Master, and she explained that this person will help me clear any negative energy and be filled with happy energy. As a scientist, I thought this was all bogus in the beginning. That following week, I had a family dinner, and I met one of my cousins from London who I've never met before, and we started to speak. She was explaining to me about my personality, what I'm sensitive to, what I like, what I don't like. I asked her, "How do you know so much about me?" She explained, "Oh, well, I read your energy." I was so thrown back at that moment, and she explained to me that she was a Reiki master. So right then, I knew it was a sign. That evening, I allowed her to do Reiki on me, and I felt amazing. For the very first time, I felt so at peace. My mind stopped racing, and I knew I was onto something. At that point, I knew that science could not explain it. However, I needed to explore more.
Wow, that's really interesting. Okay, so what other New Age modalities are you interested in?
Well, first and foremost, I really enjoy doing tarot card reading. Again, tarot cards found me. I never bought a deck in my life, and I ended up with 6 right now. Because I feel like I'm so innovative, and being a Pisces and all, I'm able to read people's energy and incorporate cards when I pull from them. I use a lot of crystal energy to balance my chakras. I feel everything in life, plants, matter, any type of matter in life conducts energy. We all know this from Newton's law. However, crystals are a great source of a particular energy that you may feel you need. For example, if I need to feel more love, I may use rose quartz when I meditate to conduct its energy. I like to use a lot of clearing energy tools, for example, specific baths and sage. Plants are a great life source, and certain plants such as eucalyptus is an excellent item we can put in our baths to remove and protect yourself from negative energy. Instantaneously, you feel better.
Okay, great. So how does Reiki relate to other things in your life or the universe?
Reiki is a great tool to clear your chakras, balance your spirit and mind. Being a health physician, I've always been confronted with the question about how can I explain Reiki with science and why I believe in it. My answer to that is simply, why not? Why can't we explore different avenues to explain different concepts? Why do we have to focus on what we already know? We should be innovative and explore outside the box. If we take a step back and truly believe that the human is made up of the mind, the body, and the spirit, all 3 entities. We have to nourish all these 3 in order to vibrate at a very high functioning level. In stating this, I feel our body is a structure that we have to nourish with diet, exercise, and great habits. Secondly, our mind is like the electricity of the house. We need it to function. If we use it too much, we can fuse out and be not productive and eventually be left in the dark. Lastly, the spirit is the aura of the house. We need to have a happy home in order to feel safe, secure, and abundant in life. We have to nourish all 3, mind, body, and spirit, in order to live a productive life.
All right. Okay, so Nav, where did you get trained as a Reiki master?
From my very own Reiki master, the person I would go to sessions for Reiki, I trusted with my energy and intentions. Over time, I felt a connection with this person, and she had classes that she was giving to become a Reiki Master. At this point in my life, I felt like I was ready, and she felt like I was ready as well. And I just took it to become one, and it was the best thing I ever did.
Okay, great. So how has Reiki helped you and others?
I sometimes give Reiki to my friends and family or people who really just need it. I mostly do it on myself. I use Reiki to clear out my chakras and keep them in balance. I use Reiki to bring energy to pain bodies in my soul, to heal past trauma and rewrite my future. I use Reiki also to heal physical pain like headaches. And I know a lot of individuals use Reiki to heal their thyroid gland or other pain bodies, physical pain bodies in themselves.
Okay, and then how do you use holistic health in terms of your medical practice?
Because I'm a Reiki master and it's made me very intuitive and sensitive to people's energy, I can sometimes read my patients very well. In order to help my patients, I have to really take a step back and assess them and read their energy to see if they need just someone to talk to, better stress management skills, physical exercise, or a dietitian. Whatever it is, usually most of the time it's all of the above. Reiki is partially useful when my patients are anxious, experience anxiety, experience depression. I sometimes send Reiki to my patients if they're crying in my office in order to make them feel more grounded. A lot of my friends who are Reiki masters are hired in hospitals actually now to give Reiki to patients who need calming and care, which is really cool.
Wow, well, that was very informative. Thank you so much, Nav, for coming on the podcast and spending some time with us today. And we really learned a lot about Reiki and especially how it pertains to the medical field. So, Nav, how can our listeners find you?
Thanks, New Age Goddess Melissa. I'm so thankful to be here. Most definitely, I would love to connect with people. I'm on Instagram. You can find me at Dr. Doctor_N Minhas. My last name Minhas. So Dr._N Minhas.
Okay, and that's a wrap. Well, thank you so much, Na, for joining us. And that was our latest episode of Confessions of a New Age Goddess. As always, if you would like to find me on Facebook, I'm the New Age Goddess. And then Instagram, it's the_new_age_goddess. Thank you and namaste.